Hi, I'm Teresa Chang.
Hi, I'm Felicia Grant Cummings.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson with Moms Navigating Autism.
Welcome to the show. We're really excited today. We have on the show Jessica Jenkins from Putnam Valley, New York, who is an author and a business owner, and she is autistic. We are so happy to have you here today. Can you tell us about yourself? We want to hear about your business. We want to hear about your books. We want to hear all about yourself.
My business is a art business, but I don't offer just like one thing. I offer several different things. Art is my special interest. I've done art since I was a little girl. I started out drawing, but then it evolved over the years. Several different things. I make jewelry, I paint, I wire wrap, I crochet, I hand bead, I sew, and I like to work with clay. And it's something that I have to do to keep my hands busy, or I'm very dysregulated. And because I'm also ADHD, I can't stick to one particular thing. And while my autistic brain loves art, the ADHD side of my brain can't stick with one form. I have to keep doing different forms of art to stay content. I made this pendant the other day.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's a rose.
You said that you make, is it jewelry or art out of breast milk?
Yes.
That was intriguing to me. I want to know more.
I make breast milk jewelry. I make cremation ashes jewelry, hair jewelry, umbilical cord jewelry, anything really. But with the breast milk, it goes through a preservation process first because that will go bad.
You use the breast milk in part of the, is it like part of the clay polymer or something separate?
I could mix it in with the fine silver metal clay. I don't use polymer clay. Well, I do polymer clay art as well, but not for breast milk jewelry. I make cat noses with polymer clay, and I make fetuses out of polymer clay for like the miscarriage keepsakes. I do weeks 4 to gestation. But the breast in the fine silver metal clay, and then you fire it with a torch, and it converts into the fine silver. Or I make the stone and set it in a ring.
Do you get a lot of people asking for this?
I wish. Not a lot of people know about my business. It's been very hard to promote it. I don't get a lot of orders. I'll get one good month where like maybe 1 or 2 people place an order, and then I hear nothing for several months.
It just amazes me. There's so many different things that I've never heard of before.
Interesting. I don't think I have ever heard of that or have seen anything like that.
And then I make fingerprint jewelry. I don't know if you can see it too well.
Oh, the heart has your fingerprint or someone that's dear to you?
It has my husband's fingerprint. I told him I have him wrapped around my finger now.
I like that. I like that.
A sound wave ring. I took a recording of me saying I love you, created a sound wave SVG file, and then used my Cricut machine, made a stencil, smacked it down on this ring band that I made, and hand engraved a sound wave, and I gave it as a gift for my husband.
Wow.
Wow.
She made that necklace she has on.
Yes, it's a rose with a pearl in the middle.
Very nice.
Very
I like
creative.
pearl jewelry.
I actually made it for my grandma, but I don't want to stop wearing it.
That's okay. It's okay. That's how some of the best creations are made, right?
Her for a while. She's in Brazil, so I'll wear it until I see her.
It sounds like a plan.
So tell us about your books.
So I have two autism books. One is a poetry book. It's called Beautifully Wired, and it has all these poems that are educational and my personal experience with autism. There's a lot of motivational poems in there that other autistic people can read and kind of learn to embrace themselves instead of seeing themselves as a burden. Instead of focusing on the deficits, kind of shift your focus on the positive things about you. And that's what that book is mainly for, is to give a positive perspective for autism. And then my other book is called Behind That Mask, I'm Autistic. That's my personal memoir that tells my whole story on how I grew up with autism, my transition from childhood to adulthood, and what it's like for me now. And it goes into extensive detail. There's a lot of stuff. I had to put a warning in it. Reader discretion is advised, because there's a lot of triggering content in that book.
Is this book still for sale? Is it out there for people to buy?
They're both on Amazon.
Okay, so you can buy them on Amazon. You said that you were in a residential home placement at one point.
Yes.
Was it because your school district could not educate you? They didn't know how to educate you? Or did your parents decide to request that?
But when I was 10, I was taken from my mom. And then I was sent to New Jersey to live with my grandma and my uncle. My uncle had my legal custody, but my grandma was in charge of all of my stuff because my uncle was too busy. The school with me because my uncle was too busy working. He wasn't going to my IEP meetings, so we couldn't discuss accommodations in school. So I was failing. I was having difficult behaviors, violent meltdowns, and self-injurious behaviors. And eventually they said I'm emotionally disturbed, and that's why they suggested a residential group home. I was admitted to a psych unit before that for 2 months while they waited for placement for me. And then I went to the residential group home for a year before they discharged me back home.
So did things get better after that?
No, not really at home, but academically, yes. Because after I was discharged from the residential group home, they made sure that I went back home to a special ed school.
Did you ever return back to public school after that?
No, from age 14, 15 and on is where I went to special ed school. And I was thriving. I was a straight A student, honor roll student.
And you graduated? And did you go on to another school, trade school? What did you do after?
Since my grades were so good, they let me start college during my senior year of high school. It was a high school shared time program for disabled people. So I took home health aid courses while I was still a senior in high school. And I was able to graduate both the same month and year.
Kind of like a BOCES
So
program.
you
probably,
left
yeah.
with an associate's or a bachelor's
It was just a home health aid certificate.
certification. Okay.
It sounds like what we have here with BOCES, where you go to the classes one part of the day and then you go take your trade another.
Tech center.
That's what I meant. Well, that's part of
Yeah.
BOCES, the tech
Yeah,
center.
part-
So, yeah.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
tech center.
I didn't get to jump into home health aid right away after either. I have moderate support needs.
Hey, did you work as a home health aide?
Not immediately after I finished. It wasn't until I had my son and they terminated my SSI that I felt like I was forced to go to work at some point. And I did. I had to take courses again because my certificate is in New Jersey. I took a 4-week course. I was a student for that too. And then I worked for 8 months before my doctor pulled me from work because I was not doing too well working.
What are you sitting in?
This is my sensory swing.
That's what I thought. I thought you were swinging. That's kind of cool, actually.
It's a lifesaver. I can't live without this.
How
Well, they
does it benefit you?
It gives me compressions. It's almost like getting a hug, but without dealing with the physical contact from other people. It wakes up my body. I struggle with proprioception, so I like to do things that kind of make me feel my body. I like to jump, I like to climb, I like deep pressure, I like compressions. Those are the only way I can feel myself. When I'm not doing any of that, I feel like I'm floating away, and then it triggers a meltdown. So I try to keep myself under control and manage the sensory issues the best I can.
It helps you with your stimming too, right? Because I noticed that you had that more before you got in the swing and it kind of went away. So it helps with that as much also.
Yeah.
My son used to use the swing when he was in speech. She used to have one of those swings there. So it just like kind of hugs you from the weight. It hugs your body around you like. So my son used to go in that because the deep pressure and his sensory.
Yeah.
I experienced the same thing with my daughter. When she had some therapies, she was in a swing, and she loved it. She loved it. It was, and deep pressure has always been her friend.
Yeah. Listen, my son loves the swings. Always has, always will. That and swimming.
Ooh, I love swimming.
She's also a mother. And both of your children are autistic, or one of them is autistic?
Both of them.
Both of them are autistic, which I said to her, in some ways that's a plus that she's also on the spectrum, because she's able to understand them, where with us, we're trying to guess and trying to figure it out, where she's kind of got like that built in, I know what they're saying. I understand. In some ways that's a plus, but in some ways, like us.
Some ways it's challenging. Yeah.
Right.
As a mother, what do you find to be one of your challenges being an autistic mother, raising autistic children?
I have to say my biggest struggle is the sensory aspect of it. I don't like the noise. I'm very sensitive to the noise and too much activity. I can't process too much going on at once. Even the smallest background noise sets me off. So a lot of the times I have to wear my noise canceling headphones. But with kids, the noise canceling headphones doesn't work as well as like it does for background noise. So my son, he's the opposite of me. He's more sensory seeking. He stims vocally, so he likes to be loud. And I'm more avoidant, and I don't like loud. So that's where me and him clash. And my daughter, she has a similar presentation as me, but she likes to use me as her trampoline, and she likes to jump and crash on me instead of jumping and crashing on the trampoline that we bought her. People bully me, saying that I don't know how to function and say I shouldn't have had children.
Who said that?
I get a lot of people that bully me online. I'm on TikTok. I advocate for autism. Just today, today, somebody told me I should jump off a bridge if I can't function like a normal person. And I did a video response to it.
Wow.
That's just bullies.
Yeah. Did not listen to them.
Bullies are going to be bullies no matter what. They prey on people. That's what they do.
They do. It makes my heart hurt to hear that. It really does.
Hard. I try. I really do try to function, not so much as a normal person. I don't even know what normal is, really. That's a very concept. I don't understand it. That normal. What is that?
Again, like you said, what is normal? What I see as normal, somebody else doesn't see the same always. So
I get quite a few different responses. I either get people who tell me, "Oh, you're very high functioning. You don't have that many struggles. You're not that autistic," or I get the ones that send me death threats because apparently I don't know how to function. And both are very invalidating. because the ones who say that I'm very high functioning, they don't see me have my meltdowns. They don't even know that I didn't develop functional language until I was 10 years old. They don't understand
Wow.
my history and how I even got to where I'm at.
You've gone through quite a bit of trauma.
Yeah, I was abused severely just for my autistic traits. I was considered nonverbal. The only language I had was like echolalia.
What
I
is
would-
that?
It's when you repeat things, but it's not really conversational.
It's kind of like a parrot.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me a question and I would respond back with the question.
I
The
see
exact
question.
top-
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I was not really conversational. You couldn't have a conversation with me. I didn't understand it at the time. And my mom's ex-husband, he would beat me for repeating him. He thought that I was talking back and mocking him. And he used to beat me for not wanting to eat the foods that he would cook. And it was always slimy, disgusting foods, and I don't like slimy.
Right,
I'm-
because people on the autism spectrum, there's certain foods that they eat, and a lot of it sensory, and yeah.
My son has that. It's like he likes the taste of strawberry and bananas, but doesn't like the texture of strawberries and bananas or apples. He likes the taste of it, and if it was yogurt or applesauce, but he won't actually eat the actual fruit or vegetable at times.
I see you as a warrior because in spite of everything, you really have kept going with your life and created your own life and your family. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
A role model to others, so somebody
exactly.
to look up to. Yeah.
Yeah, because see, we guess because we're not on the spectrum, but we want to help our children, so we try to guess, try to figure it out. I mean, we read, we watch videos, we try to educate ourselves more to try to figure it out, but we wish we had an insight.
It's
She helped me with insight a little bit there when she was talking about her sensory and noise and how she feels when she hears it and stuff. My son is nonverbal, so he can't tell me those things. So when I talk to people that understand it, that can actually explain it, tell about it and say, oh, well, that sound or that touch, it's scratching, or the sound, you said it was painful, all the noise. He can't stand babies crying or loud noises and gets overstimulated very easily when it's very noisy, chaotic and stuff. But he acts out on it or lashes out. Sometimes it could be pulling hair, scratching, and because he can't tell you that that's bothering him. So he must be feeling what you're explaining.
I like to describe when you plug in too many things in a power strip,
Mhm.
there's a power glitch and like the power just goes off. That's how I like to describe my brain. When there's too many things that my brain has to process, it will not process it. It'll just explode.
Not being on the spectrum, but I understand that as a person with ADD, that too much can be very overwhelming, and you have to pick and choose the things that you focus on, or the things that you need to eliminate from your surroundings. So I really understand that part.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty proud of you. You've actually managed to do a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's complicated. I'm trying my best.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like you're doing a pretty good job.
yeah. And
All
actually,
those businesses, all those items that you make, first of all, you're able to express yourself through your art. So that probably helps keep some anxiety down, some stress down by creating art. And then you've turned it into a business, which helps to bring some income in. So it's like a win-win.
and
Yeah.
she's able to express herself through writing, through her poetry.
Art
Oh, that's right. In your books.
Right.
art used to be my only way of communication because I used to have no language, no functional language. So art used to be my only form of communication. So that's why I'm very passionate about it still.
Do
Wow.
you still write poems? Are you working on another book?
I'm always working on another book. I'm working on a children's book now.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
It's going to be a children's book. It's going to be about a girl like me, how she uses stimming as a way to communicate certain things. So it's basically a story of me as a little girl, but it's a children's book.
Very nice, because maybe there'll be some children who could relate to the story, once your book is published. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So are you working with an artist to draw the pictures, or are you drawing the pictures yourself?
I'm doing it myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
If I could afford it, I actually would hire probably another autistic person who's an artist to do the illustrations to for me to get this done. But since I can't afford that, I have to do it all myself, which I don't have a problem with. But if I had the money, I'd love to give the opportunity to someone who would love the opportunity and needs an opportunity like that.
Since it's a children's book, what about your son? Does he draw?
He doesn't really draw much.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm trying to promote my business, my books, but it's hard because then there's a lot of people who willingly choose not to work with me because of my disability. Some people are like that, but I don't like to hide the fact that I have these certain things because I'm also all about embracing my autism and accepting my autism. So I don't try to hide it. I'm very public about it. It's publicly on my page, my business page, so people know that that's who they're dealing with. But some people look at that and they decide, oh, I don't know, that's not for me. I'm rather work with somebody else. And I guess that's fine. It weeds the bad people out, but it really hurts my feelings at the same time because I shouldn't have to feel like I need to hide myself to get more clientele.
Yeah.
I purposely have it public because I struggle sometimes with communication, and I might do something that others might see as weird, and at least if they see on my page, they understand why I'm doing things a certain way, and I don't have to explain myself to anybody.
I'm so proud of the things you're accomplishing. Being the mom of an autistic child, I tell people it's even harder, but you've got two
Opposites too, so it's not even like they have the same needs. My son is a level 1 and my daughter's a level 2 and I'm a level 2. And so it's me and my daughter have a similar presentation. So I find she's a little easier to deal with than my son, since I kind of know exactly what to do with her, since she's literally my twin. Not only with looks, but with the autism presentation, we're almost identical. Now my son is a level 1, but he has opposite needs, and that's harder to understand because I only know what I know. So it's a learning curve with him.
Within parenting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's also ADHD like me. He's level 1 autistic and ADHD, and I'm level 2 autistic and ADHD. So he has less needs than I do, but they're very different needs than mine. So I don't always know how to help him.
I hope people will buy your book so they can understand what it's like to have autism, what you've gone through, your pain, your story.
I hope so too.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica. It was a pleasure meeting you tonight.
It was a
And
pleasure.
I can't wait to get on social media and look and search and, take in a lot of your content to just understand you more and get to know you more. I'm
I
excited. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you. We want to thank Jessica Jenkins for joining us tonight and giving us a very wonderful and unique insight into autism.
We'd like to thank Altis for allowing us to use this platform to share this information.
And we want to remind everybody that we are mothers. We're not professionals. We're sharing our experiences so that we can help you with your autism child.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. And don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.